Hey everybody, Brian here, Coffee with the Disability Guys. Giving you a quick shout out from our White Plains studio. I hope everything is great. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee while I can. I went to the cardiologist recently, having a couple tests done. Everything is good, but you know how the doctors just want to make sure everything is A-OK. So I'm doing this calcium, cardiac score, something. And when I was getting the date, the scheduler says to me, okay, no coffee for 24 hours. I was like, what? So that will be quite the interesting day when I have it, but I'll let you know how I'm doing. Everything should be fine. And speaking of fine, I wanted to share some positive news about things going on in the medical legal community. I just read a report by the Leapfrog Group. It's a nonprofit healthcare watchdog group allegedly trying to grade hospitals and facilities and doctors and how they do and all these different factors. So in their most recent findings, there were 5 Westchester area hospitals that got an A rating. New York Presbyterian Westchester Bronxville, Putnam Hospital in Carmel, Northern Dutchess Hospital in Rhinebeck, Phelps Hospital in Sleepy Hollow, and right here in White Plains, the White Plains Hospital Center, all got A ratings based upon the medical care provided, the experience, things like that. And that's really good news because usually the first place you go when you've had an accident is the emergency room. And unfortunately, that is where we often run into a lot of problems when you get your records back from the emergency departments. So if you are, God forbid, ever in an accident and you're conscious and you're telling people what happened, if it's a work-related accident or even if it's a non-work-related accident, explain clearly and succinctly what happened. So, hey, I fell down a flight of stairs when I was at work. I don't know. I was driving along, and next thing I know, I ended up here in the hospital. All of that is perfectly fine because we can use what is in those reports to help make your injuries and prove that your injuries are part of the accident that happened. Unfortunately, sometimes we get some very awkward or weird or odd or just plain out wrong information in the emergency room. Now, this can happen because obviously it's an emergency, but if it is not an emergency where you're being rushed into surgery and you're unconscious, then when somebody asks you what happened, hey, I was sitting at my table, I got up, I went to turn around, and I ran into the door that was open and struck my face, or whatever the situation is. Years ago, one of the attorneys was telling us a story about his father, who was an attorney, and he had a heart attack, and he was in the hospital, and I guess the doctors had asked him questions about what he had been doing, and he had mentioned that he had gone to a baseball game a couple days before and ate a hot dog. So when the son saw the emergency room records, it said, started having chest pains after eating hot dog. That is not what his father said. His father said, I had a hot dog a couple days ago. So it's things like that that could really screw up a case. We've had cases where the person says, I was walking up the stairs, when it turns out that they fell down the stairs. And that can become a problem. So you want to give clear information, not too much information, but truthful and clear information as best as possible. And if you get the records and something's completely wrong, you could also ask them to either modify it or notify somebody right away, because that can help us say, hey, look, on the day of the accident, he said he had a car accident and tripped on the sidewalk. The emergency room records only say tripped on the sidewalk, but we have this other proof as well. So things like that. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out because, again, these 5 hospitals in the Westchester, Hudson Valley area, fantastic. It's great to know that we have really good medical care around here, but make sure what you tell people is accurate and true, and make sure you tell people, did it happen at work, or if it did not happen at work, because that can make the difference in your New York workers' compensation case. Anyway, I've rambled enough today. I'm going to have another cup of coffee because in about a week I'm going to have no coffee for 24 hours.